Last time we saw Detective Hayes narrowly escape Jacob Thorne's deadly game. It was a close call, one that left Hayes more determined than ever to bring Thorne to justice. The chilling truth of Thorne's motive was unveiled, sending shivers down our spines. His actions were not just random acts of violence, they were calculated, driven by a deep-seated need for revenge. Thorne, driven by a twisted sense of justice, sought revenge for a past tragedy. He believed that those who had wronged him must pay, and he would stop at nothing to see it through. He believed the town was complicit in his suffering. Every shadowy corner and every silent street seemed to echo his pain and anger. Hayes vowed to stop Thorne, to protect the community from this vengeful phantom. He knew that the safety of the town rested on his shoulders. The stage was set for a final, terrifying confrontation. The clock was ticking, and every second brought them closer to an inevitable showdown. Hayes knew time was running out, the pressure was mounting, and the stakes had never been higher. Thorne was always one step ahead, playing a deadly game of cat and mouse. Each move was a test of wits, a battle of minds. Hayes had to think like Thorne, anticipate his moves and turn the tables. It was a mental chess game, and one wrong move could be fatal. The detective's weary eyes held a steely glint of determination. Despite the exhaustion, his resolve was unbreakable. He would not rest until justice was served. The battle between good and evil was far from over, and Hayes was ready to face whatever came next. Hayes immersed himself in the case files, searching for any clue that could crack Thorne's twisted game. He studied the patterns, the victims, the locations. There had to be a connection, a thread that led to Thorne's lair. Hayes knew he couldn't play by the book. Thorne was too cunning, too unpredictable. He decided to take a gamble, a risky move to lure Thorne out of hiding. Using himself as bait, Hayes planned to draw Thorne into a trap. It was a dangerous plan, but it was their only hope.
Fear hung heavy in the air, a palpable presence that suffocated the town. Residents barricaded themselves indoors, afraid to venture out after dark. The once vibrant streets stood deserted, the silence broken only by the wail of distant sirens. Every shadow seemed to whisper Thorne's name. Every creak of a floorboard sent shivers down their spines. Yet, amidst the fear, a flicker of hope remained. The townspeople rallied behind Detective Hayes, their collective faith resting on his shoulders.
Section 4. The Labyrinth's Lure. Hayes chose his battleground carefully, the abandoned industrial district on the outskirts of town. A decaying labyrinth of factories and warehouses shrouded in perpetual twilight. It was the perfect setting for a final showdown, a place where shadows danced and secrets whispered. The police cordoned off the area, setting a perimeter around the sprawling complex. Teams moved in, armed with flashlights and weapons, their breath misting in the cold night air. The trap was set. Now they waited for their prey. Section 5, face-to-face in the shadows. Silence. Then, a metallic clang echoed through the desolate buildings, a sound calculated to draw attention. It was the bait, a deliberate noise meant to lure the unsuspecting into a trap. Thorne, unable to resist the challenge, had taken the bait. His curiosity and arrogance led him straight into the heart of the trap.
"You think you can catch me, Hayes?" His voice dripped with disdain and confidence echoing through the darkness.
Thorne moved like a phantom, his silhouette shifting between the towering structures. He was a master of the shadows, blending seamlessly with the night. A chill ran down Hayes' spine as he spotted him. The hunt was on, and every nerve in his body was on high alert. The air crackled with tension as the two figures circled each other in the shadows, their breaths echoing in the cavernous space. Each step was measured, each movement calculated. The final confrontation was about to begin. The stakes were high and neither man could afford to lose. Section 6. Victory's Shadow. The ensuing struggle was brutal, a desperate fight for survival. The night was thick with tension, shadows dancing on the walls as the two men clashed. Thorne, fueled by rage and despair, fought like a cornered animal. His eyes burned with a wild intensity, every move a testament to his desperation. But Hayes was ready, his years of experience pushing him forward. He had faced many adversaries, but none quite like Thorne. His focus was unwavering, his determination unbreakable. Each parry, each blow, brought them closer to the inevitable end. The sound of fists meeting flesh echoed through the alley, a grim symphony of violence. Finally, with a surge of adrenaline, Hayes disarmed Thorne, pinning him to the ground. The struggle had been long and grueling, but Hayes' training and resolve had seen him through. The fight drained out of Thorne, replaced by a chilling emptiness. His body went limp, the fire in his eyes extinguished, leaving only a hollow shell. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by their ragged gasps for air. The weight of the confrontation hung heavy in the air, a stark reminder of the violence that had just unfolded. Thorne was apprehended, his reign of terror finally over. The night had been long, but justice had prevailed. Hayes stood over Thorne, knowing that this victory, though hard fought, was just one battle in a much larger war.